Hi, and welcome to another Couch Chat with CSE. Today we're here with April, our loan trainer, and we're going to talk with April about everything that goes into the car loan process, from what you can expect from the credit union and then what you can expect from an auto dealer once you get to that portion of the process. There's a lot that goes into this, so we're breaking it down into 3 different videos, and we'll start now with just the basics and some of the terminology. So April, can you quickly explain some of the different types of deals available to members when they're purchasing a vehicle?
Sure. So I think the most common is going to be the dealer purchase, where you go to a dealership, you pick out the vehicle, you do the buyer's order, that kind of one. I think that's pretty common. Most people are pretty familiar with that process, but we'll talk about that in detail a little bit later. But the other type of financing we do is on person-to-person deals, where it's a private seller, so someone that's listed their vehicle, put it at the bottom of their driveway, whatever they decide to do. Really for that, all we need is the VIN number, the current mileage, and any options that are on the vehicle, like leather seats or a sunroof or things like that. And we can still run the VIN number, get a value with that. We can run a Carfax for you if you're interested to make sure it's in good shape, and do the processing that way. There are times where we do have to do the title work for that, so the seller does normally need to come into the office to do that. And we can give them a check made payable to them, so it's a relatively simple transaction as long as they can come into the office. Right now we are seeing quite a few out-of-state deals where our members or applicants in general are just trying to buy vehicles out of state because there's a shortage on vehicles right now, which is making it a little bit more tricky. Those deals are a lot more complicated. A lot of out-of-state deals don't include the tax in the purchase price on the buyer's order, so we have to be aware of that. A lot of them don't accept what we call a letter of credit. When we do a letter of credit, we send a document that guarantees the check is going to come upon receipt of a clean title with our lien on it. And if they don't accept that, we have to do some workarounds. So those can be a little bit more difficult, just to give you a heads up. But most of the time we can work with that. And then the other one that we see, and again, it's starting to become more common, is purchasing a vehicle from an auto auction. Those are really tricky, and it's really a situational basis where we can do them, because a lot of times you don't know what vehicle you're getting. So we normally have to rate them as an unsecured loan. You purchase the vehicle that way, and then we can flip it to an auto loan later. Again, we can't do that every time, but it's something we are seeing, and it's not completely off the table. And sometimes people think that we can't finance that because it's at an auction.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. At the beginning of the answer, you alluded to most of the deals that we see are from a member and a dealership, and that's certainly going to be the most common type of deal that you probably perform as a member and that we'll see. There's a lot of terminology that goes into that, and a lot of that can be confusing for members. So can you just kind of go over some of those terms and what members can expect to hear so that they've got a better idea of, again, what the dealer might be talking about, or what we even might be talking about in that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the terms, probably the biggest one is a buyer's order or a purchase order. And what that does is it is just a sheet of paper. It has the VIN number to the vehicle, which is like the identification number, kind of like our social, but it's for the vehicle. It's specific to that vehicle, so it has that. It gives the current miles. It tells them what the sticker price is, because that's the price that is on the vehicle when you see it. It's the advertised price online if you're looking there. But then it's going to take into consideration any fees that are charged, a document fee, a title fee. Taxes are normally included if it's in state, and all of that stuff. And then it gives you that bottom line price, which is the next term that we like to talk about. And that's kind of the price that you're going to have the check for. So it's already going to deduct any down payment or trade-in that you're doing, and that's the price that the check needs to be made payable for to the dealership. So they're getting what they need to finalize the deal. One of the next terms is going to be negative equity, and that's something that is a lot more common than most people probably realize. What that means is that your vehicle is not worth as much as your financing. So if you're purchasing a vehicle for $15,000, if it only books out for $10,000, you would have $5,000 in negative equity, which ideally is not what we want to see. We would like to see you either close to that value or slightly under, but we do see a lot of negative equity right now. Some of that tends to come from trading vehicles in or buying gap policies or warranties or care packages. So it's always good as a buyer to kind of keep in mind all those additional things that could be added to the deal. They'll all be factored into that buyer's order that you bring in that bottom line figure. One of the other things is going to be clean retail value. We use the JD Power NADA site to get our vehicle values, and we go off what the clean retail is, which is typically the highest value that they have other than like the MSRP, which is what it's built at. So we run off of that. When you're going to do a trade-in, there's also typical trade-in values that they can expect, and it kind of determines on the shape of your condition of your vehicle. So depending on what the vehicle value is, we can give you an idea of what a trade value might be for your vehicle if you come see us first, and that way you're a little bit more educated when you go to the dealership. The last two things I want to talk about are what we consider add-on products, and they're products that are beneficial to you as the buyer, and they help protect your vehicle and your loan over the term that you have it. So a GAP policy stands for Guaranteed Auto Protection, and what that does is it pretty much guarantees that you don't have to pay for a vehicle you don't have anymore as long as you follow your typical payment plan. So with that, if your vehicle gets totaled, stolen, claimed a complete loss for any reason, what that does is your insurance company is going to write a check to the credit union to pay off your loan. Best case scenario, they pay it off in full and you get to walk away free and clear. But we have so many times where the insurance company doesn't give you enough to pay off your loan. So if your loan balance is $8,000, they might only give you $6,000. So you're left with $2,000 that you have to cover on your own. If you purchase a GAP policy, that's going to kick in and pay that difference for you. So you can walk away free and clear. You don't have to worry about pulling that money out of your pocket to come up and having a way to come up with that. You don't have to worry about carrying the negative equity into your next car. You get to walk away free and clear without having to pay for a vehicle you don't have anymore. We offer that at the credit union. Typically our prices are lower than at dealerships, so you definitely want to ask around for that. Our policy is typically $375. If you go to a dealership, I've seen them up to like $1,800. So it's a big price difference, so something to be aware of as a buyer. So the warranty is the last option, and what that does is that helps cover your cost and expense when your vehicle has a mechanical failure or breakdown. With vehicles having a lot of electrical components at this point and everything so techy, a warranty is going to be super helpful. You can kind of think about it as you're prepaying for future repairs that need to happen. It will not cover any normal wear and tear items. So it's not going to cover your brake pads or your tires or anything like that, or your windshield wipers. And it's not going to cover if you get in an accident. That's your auto insurance's responsibility to cover. But if something mechanically goes wrong, as long as you have taken care of your vehicle and you haven't neglected it, the warranty should pay out. Typically what our members do is they pay the warranty cost up front. We can roll that into your loan with us so you still have one easy monthly payment for yourself. And then most people choose to have the $100 deductible. So you take it to any repair shop. It can be a dealership, it can be a mom and pop. They just have to insure their work and accept credit cards. And with that, you get the approval of the warranty company first. You pay $100 to the dealership and the warranty is going to cover the rest. So it really helps protect you from large, costly repairs for your vehicle with that. But it's really important to know when you have a warranty, you do have to follow the service plan for your vehicle. So if it requires an oil change every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, have to change the oil. If they find dust where oil's supposed to be, they're not going to fix your vehicle. The warranty's going to reject the claim. And things like that. So it's important to pay attention to the care plan for your vehicle, which is normally in the manual, along with your warranty coverage, and keep those receipts and keep it documented so that if you have to file a claim, it'll be easily covered for you.
Well, there's a lot that goes into that, obviously, from the terminology and just everything you've got to know. So thank you for that, April. A lot more to come, so check back for another video, and thanks for joining us.
See ya.